Greetings from Santa Cruz Catholic Church in Tucson on this last day of June, Wednesday, June 30th, to once again make a reflection on St. Joseph and returning again to the third part of the litany where the invocations have to do with Joseph's relation, or you might say his mission to the church. And this invocation I want to talk about today is Joseph, Solace of the Afflicted. The words in Latin are Solatium, miserorum, and both of those Latin words can be variously translated. I've seen comfort of the afflicted, or it could be, I've seen comfort of the troubled. It could also be solace of the wretched. In fact, the word miserorum of the wretched really would be closer perhaps to the original meaning, or we could think of it as the destitute poor. So whether the afflicted, the miserable, the destitute poor, the troubled, Joseph is a comfort and a solace for them, and we invoke him as such. Let's talk about, though, the poor. You know, the Victor Hugo novel, which was made into a very, very popular musical, Les Misérables, is some of the main characters were the destitute poor in Paris of the 19th century. But we have our own poor, and you know, it is miserable to be poor. Joseph is a lover of poverty, but not a lover of destitution and misery. So we have to make a distinction. It's good to live a simple life, to be detached, and not to covet riches. As St. Paul says, money is the root of all evil. But desperate poverty, wretched poverty, extreme poverty is a miserable condition to be in. And think of the homeless, for instance, especially here in Tucson, where it's so hot. Where does one go to get relief if they're homeless? In this city, we actually do have relief stations where they can go, which is a great work of the city. But also the churches can provide things, but we as individuals can be more mindful of the misery, really, that people go through because of extreme need. Now, of course, there is other kinds of misery and affliction. I remember Mother Teresa of Calcutta saying that loneliness is the greatest poverty that she found in America. So many lonely people. Visiting the elderly, especially the homebound elderly, but people who are living alone. It doesn't have to be elderly, it could be anybody. Especially after this COVID, we know how miserable it is to be alone all of the time. So we need to develop a heart like St. Joseph, where we want to give solace, consolation, comfort to those who are afflicted, troubled, and poor and miserable. We need to develop empathy for others, not sympathy, which is kind of related to empathy, but empathy is like really putting yourselves in their place, feeling how they feel. And I think Joseph understood that. He certainly had his troubles, afflictions, and I think perhaps even at times, he was feeling the real pinch of want, of poverty, of worrying that he could even provide for his family. We don't know the details of the life in Nazareth or the troubles that they had when they were refugees in Egypt. But certainly Joseph was empathetic because he had gone through a lot himself. And Jesus, of course, is raised by Joseph. And yes, it's mysterious. Jesus learns from Joseph, but of course Joseph learns from Jesus. But like father, like son, I mean, certainly when we see, Jesus said, when he who sees me sees the Father. He who sees Jesus also sees an image of Joseph. And Jesus said, blessed are the poor, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. And he talked about, you know, what you did for the homeless, the unclothed, those who were hungry, those who were in prison, you did for me. So that's the kind of way the followers of Christ should be. And we can look to Joseph too as an inspiration and example, and ask for his intercession too, because at times we ourselves are afflicted and miserable, and we need that solace that Joseph can give us. Go to Joseph, and may you be blessed this day.